What's good, YouTube fam? I know a lot of you are here because you want to learn how to grow on Instagram. Since the last time we made a how to grow to 10,000 followers on Instagram, Instagram has made a lot of updates to its algorithm. These are the steps that I would take if I had 0 followers right now. By combining all of these strategies that we've listed in this video, you should be at 10,000 followers on Instagram in no time. Jess and I are really proud of how we've grown our Instagrams, so we put links in the description below. Make sure, if you have Instagram, to send us a DM there. The reason that we started focusing on growing our Instagram a couple of years ago was because we understood that we wanted to be in the entrepreneurial and business space. And building our personal brands on social media was a direct correlation of how successful we would become. I know that without social media, Jess and I would still be successful with whatever venture we would go upon in the future. However, I know for a fact that social media has only enhanced and amplified every single thing that we're doing. I know we would not get so many opportunities as we do if it was not for our Instagram. We wanted to grow our Instagram so that potential clients could see the kind of content that we could create for them. But throughout the process, we learned how to grow our Instagrams and slowly grow our YouTube successfully. The tricks that I'm about to go over are some of the strategies that I like to implement if I had 0 followers on Instagram and was starting a new page from scratch. If you would be so kind, please hit that thumbs up button to make sure this YouTube video does better in the YouTube algorithm. The better it does, the more people that see this video, the more people that we can help grow their Instagram organically. Since Instagram has implemented a lot of new rules into their algorithm, these methods will take a lot longer than they used to. However, the upside is now, since it's harder to grow on Instagram, there's more room for those to grow that actually want to put in the effort. If that is you, make sure you watch until the end of this video. In this video, every single method will be free when it comes to monetary compensation. The only investment you have to make is your time. Make sure you stay until the end because that is where I give my best tip about how to grow organically. However, each of these steps to grow organically on Instagram to 10,000 followers is just as important. When it comes to having a strong foundation of content, you need to make sure that your content is valuable, entertaining, or gives knowledge or education to your viewers. Understand what kind of category or niche you're in and make sure that every single piece of content on your feed showcases this. If you just started your Instagram page, make sure that you have at least 9 pieces of content that showcase what kind of content and what kind of value you will end up giving. This helps the people that come to your profile understand what to expect once they press that follow button. If you're an Instagram account that has a lot of posts all over the place and don't know actually where you fit in when it comes to giving value, archive a lot of the posts that don't serve any purpose. Dwindle it down until you have 9 to 12 concrete posts that showcase the best version of your content. Also, when it comes to posting, this is another concept. A lot of people tell you you should post every single day. However, the analogy that I like to put it is that building your Instagram is like building a house. You don't always need to add new rooms or new parts to your house. Once you have a solidified foundation of your house, you don't need to post that frequently. The way to maintain your account is to run stories. You have to remember that there's 2 sides to grow on Instagram. The first is converting the people that come to your profile. The second is driving profile visits or new people to see your content. Once you have that foundation of content, we can focus on the fun part, which is driving new traffic to see your Instagram profile. If you want to create new content from what you already have, focus on what your audience wants, not what you want. So figure out what kind of niche or what kind of target market you want your content to go towards. Then flip your perspective and think from the perspective of someone viewing your content. What kind of content would they want to watch? If you were someone else looking at your profile, what would make you press follow to watch more of your content? So the first method that I want to go over is a concept called follow and unfollow. And this method has existed for so many years. But if I had an account with 0 followers today, this is definitely one method that I would use. So the way that this method works simply is by following people and then unfollowing them. This has always existed, but people then created bots which did this organically. Once Instagram caught on to this, they saw every single person that was using a robot to do follow and follow and banned them immediately, or shadow banned their account. Whatever Instagram did, all bots are basically non-existent now. So those that want to go back to the follow and follow method do have leverage at this point. The way that it works is that you find someone in your niche or a competitor. Once you go on their profile, you follow every single person that is already engaging with that person's content. Instagram does put a limit of how many people you can follow and unfollow per hour. So I'm not gonna say there's a specific number, but I would aim to follow around 15 to 20 people every single hour for the course of your day. And then after a week, those that didn't follow you back, you can then unfollow them. This is more of an aggressive method to get your profile out there. However, if you're not a big fan of follow and follow, you can use a similar method where you DM the people that engage with your competitors' content. So for example, if we go onto this page, you scroll down, you find a comment that actually has to do with that content, with that piece of content, you click on that person's profile, and then you engage with that person because you know that person likes your competitor's content, aka they should like your content. So you can strike up a conversation via direct message. You can comment on their photos, you can like their photos, and begin a conversation and begin a relationship. However, if you do want to speed up your growth to 10,000 followers on Instagram, you should do a combination of all three. You should use follow and follow, you should use direct messaging with your competitors, commenters, or audience, and you should engage with similar accounts to drive awareness to your Instagram profile. Besides going onto your competitors' pages, another thing you can do is look at very specific hashtags. Let's say you're a commercial real estate agent and you want to post content about commercial real estate. Under the hashtag tab, you can search commercial real estate, click on that, and find all the content that people think that is relevant to that hashtag. Once you find content that is related to commercial real estate, you can start interacting and begin engaging with those types of profiles. You can comment, you can begin a discussion about the commercial real estate building they're about to sell or interested in buying, but that basically creates your initial audience of people that are into your niche. Just like our video about how we grew to our first 1,000 subscribers in 6 months on YouTube, this is a very similar strategy. You're building a snowball. Let's say you're pushing the snowball up the hill, right? At first it's extremely heavy, but once you reach that tipping point, then the snowball can roll down by itself. By creating this initial audience, you're creating momentum for your snowball, so then once you begin posting more content about commercial real estate or whatever your niche is in, then the snowball will roll down the hill faster. I hope that makes sense. If you're working on growing your Instagram, comment below the URL of your Instagram as well as a one-sentence phrase about the value you intend to give to your audience. In this game of social media and really the world and life, make sure you always find ways to give value. If you're commenting on other people's content in your niche, make sure you give value. Don't just spam. Don't just say, hey, check out my profile, but actually give value to what that person is saying in their content or any questions or comments in the comment section of their content. Just as much as content is king, value is just as important. Once you create this core audience in your niche, you want to start creating more general and valuable information for your audience. So let's say commercial real estate is where your niche is. You want to create content that has to do with that exact niche, such as your mindset behind commercial real estate or real estate in general, how you conduct yourself as a businesswoman or a businessman. The reason for doing that is potential buyers or sellers who are interested and share the same mindset as you will be more likely to converse with you and begin a relationship with you when it comes to buying or selling their piece of commercial real estate. Once you start creating longer forms of content, if it's an IGTV video or just a video on Instagram, make sure you look at the insights. See which videos do the best when it comes to the amount of saves, the amount of shares, the amount of engagement, likes, and comments. Once you see what kind of content is doing the best for you, that is the content that you should make more and more of. Once you get larger on Instagram and you don't need to make so much general content, then you can focus on making more content that is enticing for you. Another way that I like to drive extra profile visits is actually in Instagram stories. So what you can do is minimize your location tag as well as minimize any hashtags that are relevant to your Instagram page. With a single story, you can get an additional 100 to 200 views simply from your location tag and minimizing hashtag tags. Let's say 10% of this 100 to 200 people end up checking out your profile. That's an extra 10 to 20 profile visits per story. These strategies, when done consistently, can really add up. In our few years of being in social media, the best way to grow organically is what is called a story for story shoutout. This begins to work when you're a little bit past 5,000 or greater. The method works like this. You find similar pages in your niche around the same kind of engagement and the same amount of audience. Then you DM them and ask if you want to do what is called a story for story. As you can assume, it basically is this. The strategy is pretty simple. If you shout out my profile on your Instagram story and you tell your audience to come check out my page, I will do the same to you. Let's say every single story shout out like that gets 200 clicks or sticker taps. That's 200 new people visiting their profile. If you run this with 10 people every single week, that's 2,000 new profile visits. However, this only really works if these people are in your niche and have strong engagement. So make sure you have a little checklist and that they check every single part of that box. Similar niche, similar following, strong engagement. Cool person. With all of these strategies that we've laid out in this video, you should be at 10,000 followers on Instagram in no time. But I'm gonna remind you, you have to be consistent and you have to be persistent. It's a lot harder to grow on Instagram organically nowadays. You have to be consistent and persistent with running these strategies on your account. Make sure you have a strong foundation of content. Then you find ways to drive new traffic and profile visits to your content. The best way to drive new traffic and profile visits to your content is the follow and follow method. Interacting with similar pages in your niche. Interacting with the audiences of the similar pages in your niche. Finding specific hashtags that relate to your content. And then interacting with the people that are also in that audience. Engage with other profiles in your niche. Like their content, engage with their content, comment, ask questions. Add location tags to stories so you increase your story views, hence increasing your profile visits. And of course, the story for story tactic, which helps both people grow. Remember to continuously give value in everything that you do. This is the key to growth. Just as we want to grow our YouTube channel, the only way to grow our YouTube channel is by helping you, by giving you value. We're gonna be making more content about how to grow on Instagram. So if you have not done so already, make sure you're subscribed and hit that bell notification to get notified whenever we do upload. If you also want to invest money to grow on Instagram, we have this video here, our first video on YouTube about how to grow to 10,000 followers on Instagram. In this video, we go through ways that you can grow organically, but a large portion of the video is also focused on how you can grow by investing your own money. Since you're watching this video, you either have money or you have time. Depending on what you have to invest, that is how you should focus on growing your Instagram profile. Remember, you're building a digital asset. This asset will help you with whatever you end up doing in your life. You have to think about it like a video game. You find the little tricks and the strategies that work, and you do them over and over and over again until you beat your mission. These social media platforms are literally digital video games of yourself. So a little side note, growing up, I loved video games. I loved Call of Duty, I loved Counter-Strike, I loved all sports games, specifically NBA 2K, FIFA, and MLB. And no matter what game I played, I would be so competitive that I would try to learn every single trick in the book. I'd figure out how to be a better Call of Duty player. I'd figure out how to be the best NBA 2K player that I could be. Instagram and YouTube are exactly the same things. You have to find the strategies that work, do them over and over and over again, and then you slowly beat your missions. So if growing to 10,000 followers on Instagram is your goal, figure out the strategies and the methods to beat the game. Figure those out, do them over and over again, and slowly you'll beat your mission.